Well, we have officially made it, everyone. Happy Lost Colony DLC launch week. On Thursday, the 18th of December, 2025, Lost Colony, the first paid story DLC to launch in the ARK franchise since Genesis Part 2, will be coming out. That is way over 4 years ago. I already see you in the comments, you guys that are going to say it's coming December 2026. I see those comments already, but today we are going to be focusing on an amazing new character we have coming to the Lost Colony DLC and a huge fan favorite. Drop a like and subscribe if you're excited for launch week, and let's get it with the video. So it's been officially confirmed that Keith David will be voicing the new Lost King, which is the brand new villain coming to the Lost Colony DLC. If you guys don't know, the Lost Colony DLC is going to have a lot of cinematics and a lot of cutscenes actually, and it's part of what Studio Wildcard making ARK feel a little bit more story based. It's something that's always been a part of the game. The lore has always been there, but it's something that Studio Wildcard have wanted to do more. From their crazy cast, a lot of people ask the question, where does the money come from? And that's something from a new post from Rock Paper Shotgun, which is an outlet which I'm sure you'll know, which is what we're going to be reading through. But the Lost King is the brand new villain coming up for the Lost Colony expansion and is officially voiced by Keith David. I'm sure you've heard it by now, but before we get into the article that we're going to be reading, let's just quickly hear it one more time from the legend himself.
Giga Desperus, your master beckons. The time for battle has arrived.
So the Lost King is the second human antagonist the player encounters, the first being Rockwell, and this also makes him the third major human antagonist overall, with the first one being Nerva in the ARK lore. So let's jump into this now, and this was from Rock Paper Shotgun, and I wanted to read this because I always find it interesting when I read articles from certain outlets in the ARK universe. Some of them know their ARK stuff, and some of them kind of just cover it, but one of the biggest questions of this article is, where are they getting the money for all of this? And I'm going to talk about that. So ARK Survival Ascended's famous people-laden expansion, Lost Colony, gets a December release date. In this, they mentioned that it's December 16th. Obviously, it's not tomorrow, it is December 18th now. So let's read through this. So ARK is one of those strange series to me that seems to have a ridiculous amount of cash to dispense. What with its star-studded cast in the animated adaptation, Gerard Butler, Michelle Yeoh are in it. Not to mention David Tennant. Is that the right spelling for Tennant? Maybe it is. I don't know. I don't think. Elliot Page, Russell Crowe, and Vin Diesel. The final of whom is meant to be in the borderline of ARK 2. But some of those voices will be appearing in-game through ARK Survival Ascended's next expansion, Lost Colony. So one of the things I want to mention from what this article is saying is there's huge reasons behind this. One, ARK is a game that makes a lot of money. It's been a very popular game over the last 10 years, and they have sold a crazy amount of expansion packs. And if you're not in the ARK community, no matter how toxic some points the ARK community can be, we're a very dedicated bunch. We're a very close community. And even through a load of the game problems which drive a lot of people away from the game, there's a very dedicated community that will want to stick here and purchase the next DLCs. But not only that, Vin Diesel works at Studio Wildcard, and Vin Diesel has such a massive presence in the filming industry. And the fact that Vin Diesel has so many contacts is what opens up a lot of these collaborations for the ARK franchise. It's not all about how much money they're spending. There's probably a lot of what Vin Diesel has to give to the company, which allows them to get so many of these crazy names. So said release date is a little over a month away, not anymore. It is now 3 days away and coming on December 18th. And according to the press release, makes direct connections between ARK Extinction, Genesis expansions and ARK 2. It's a little bit of prep work essentially, and that is correct. It comes between the ARK Extinction DLC launch and the Genesis expansions and then leads on into ARK 2. So, Yoa is back from her role in the animated series alongside David Tennant and cast members like Madeline Madden. I'm hoping I'm going to say this right. Is it all Uli? I'm hoping Crevalio, Katie Sackhoff, and Keith David. They've gone for Coraline there, but we all know Keith David. Well, I personally know Keith David from many other, Halo, Modern Warfare, so many amazing gaming series, and it feels brilliant to have Keith David on board for our next DLC. And the fact that we're going to have so many, I mean, even hearing Rockwell, so we're going to be hearing David Tennant, Keith David. I wonder we'll probably get some form of Vin Diesel, by the way, as well, because when we ascend after Lost Colony, who knows, there's going to be huge ARK 2 stuff. Like, that's why I'm really excited about this DLC. When we ascend, the cutscene is going to be crazy. So while this feels like an odd way to put it, Lost Colony adds in the first canonical expansion map into ARK Survival Ascended. Though I'm sure many ARK loreheads can speak better than I can, once you start up the expansion, you'll find yourself in a big old city where something's hunting you down. Very true. There'll be new abilities, gears, building systems, the usual expansion affair, and from today until the expansion launches, a new dino, the Osidon, of course, will be wandering around the cold biomes of Ragnarok, Valguero, and the Center. Something again to on from that point is the Osidon will stop spawning on Ragnarok, Valguero, and the Center as from the Lost Colony launch. So from Lost Colony launch on the 18th, Thursday the 18th, the Osidon will be no more on those maps. It will only spawn on Lost Colony. The reason for this is it was always planned to be that. I think Studio Wildcard had been using a lot of these creatures as a bit of a hype on the build up to Lost Colony, things that were ready for the game, also things they wanted to test. They wanted to give it to players early so they can test it, make tweaks, because on launch the Osidon was awful. And if the Osidon launched like that with the DLC, it would have been really bad. And it's kind of a bit of a pre-hype to make people want to go and purchase the DLC on the build-up. And something that's crazy about the Lost Colony teaser is we're now at 5.7 million views. 5.7 million. A lot of you guys were asking, why does this teaser trailer have so many views? And it is because Wildcard let us know that it is an advert, and this is the first time that Studio Wildcard have actually been advertising a DLC and paying for an advertisement in who knows how long. It has been crazy. And the fact that this DLC has been seen 5.7 million times and rising tells me that they're truly preparing themselves for a very busy DLC. So as a bit of pre-launch hype, we've come over to SteamDB. We haven't done this for a long time, and we haven't done this since, I think the last time we did this was Ragnarok. And right now, obviously, there's only 14,000 players. We have around about a this is just on Steam, by the way, we have a 25,000 24-hour peak. It's good, right? It's standard. But the biggest question is what this is going to be for the Lost Colony launch. Now, if we go to the maximum of when the game launched to how the game's gone, we're going to be very honest. We're going to talk about it all. When Ascended launched, it had 98,000 players on the launch day, and it was pretty dead. It was crazy busy on launch, and it had probably one of the biggest fall-offs of all time. To go from October 2023 down to 23,000 players from 98,000 in the space of, what, 5 months is terrible. And the reason why, if you guys didn't know, is we went from October 2023, it took until April 2024 to get a brand new map. That was, for me, the worst period. I mean, when on the launch was a great period for me as a YouTuber. The build up to the next map was the worst ever point. I stopped doing ARK videos. You guys know how long I've been doing ARK videos. I did Helldivers. I completely changed my channel because it was so boring. I can't even explain it to you. It was the worst period as an ARK player I've ever had in my life. And that was really sad. But onwards from that, the DLCs did start to launch, and they were launching pretty well. And when Scorched Earth launched, we had 44, nearly 45,000 players, and it was a fairly busy time. As we move further on, there were other DLCs. The Center launched. It didn't do too well, I'm going to be honest. It wasn't having the best of times. And it was also made by a third-party studio, which I don't mind the map. It's still got issues, but, you know, I don't mind it. Then it was a pretty slow summer, I'm going to be very honest with this. Was times where people were saying the game is really struggling. It did drop really low in players. Aberration came out, and Aberration did okay, 36,000. And then at the end of the year, December 2024, Extinction came out, and Extinction was very, very popular. It was. I mean, 41,000 still not crazy, but we had a lot of players playing the game, and it was not a bad time. Then there was a bit of a fall, but then we had, out of nowhere, Astrius just decided to launch as an official DLC. That kept the hype up. We never ever get anything like that in February for ARK. And then there was a huge drop once again, and then Ragnarok came out. And Ragnarok was so popular, and it has been the highest player count we have seen for ARK Survival Ascended ever since the game has launched, at 48,000 concurrent players on Steam. Since the launch of Ragnarok, everyone had enjoyed it, but unfortunately it has really fallen off. And even the launch of Valguero, which none of us really expected to be that popular, was seriously poorly. It wasn't, for me, I didn't think the DLC was great. I thought it was nice to be built in 5.5. I never really liked Ragnarok that much. I did like the different layers to Ragnarok. To Valguero, I love Ragnarok. But since then, the game in December 2025 is sitting around a 25,000 peak. We now sit here with the launch of Lost Colony this week, and with so much promo behind the DLC for Studio Wildcard, the first paid DLC since Genesis Part 2, and with Genesis Part 2 hitting 180,000 players back on ARK Survival Evolved, the question is, what is going to happen on December 18th? What do you guys think? Are we about to see the biggest day since launch? Will this beat launch? I don't think it will beat launch, but I could see us around about the 50 to 60,000 player mark. Let's see if I'm right. Let's see if I'm wrong. I'll catch you guys in my next video. Thank you for watching.